Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay, today we are entering into day 3 of our Shabby Chic junk journal. If you have not gotten your printables printed, you still have 2 days over the weekend to hop in and join us next week. So you've got lots of time, so don't feel rushed. Oh, sorry, honey. I got you all moved around. Okay, I'm currently looking for us. There we are. Okay, so this morning you are going to need your junk journal that we have been working on the last 2 days. You will need page 3, which is your cherished memories. Okay, you'll need those cut out. You'll also need your page 1. Your page 1 looks something like this. They have all these little pieces in it. Okay, and then we're going to do page 2. Now, I'm going to quickly do this while you all are hopping on. As you hop on, please say hello. I would love to know who's here. Oftentimes you will see me when I'm fuzzy cutting. I do it just like this. It just makes it so much easier to remove the bulk first and then go deep in and get rid of the excess. Okay, so I'm going to quickly do these. This is page 3 for the Thursday's packet. If you're not sure which items that we're using this morning, just kind of follow along. If you see something that looks familiar, then begin. Otherwise, you can go back to yesterday. I showed you at the end of yesterday what you would need for today, as well as this past Friday. There is a whole video on how to prepare all of your, all of your supplies for this week and next week. Okay, and we will, at the end of this live, I will also explain to you what you will need for next week. So this is the last day for this week. This was 3 days this week, 2 days next week. It gives you the entire weekend to fuzzy cut all of your fun stuff. And I apologize for not having this done. As a family, we have been busy here at the house. And so it's been taking a little toll on my creative time. And that is okay. You know, it's real life. It's how things roll, right? So if you are hopping on right now and yours are not done, go ahead and take a moment and go cut them out real quick like. Okay, that one there, I got a little close. I'm trying to leave just a little line, doing a little fuzzy cut in here. I won't be doing this very long, just this little page here. The rest of them are ready to go. And we're just going to fuzzy cut real quick. Now, you will need all of the rest of your pieces for next week. I plan to spend quite a bit of time enjoying some outdoor time and some TV time, both of which I will have my items with me ready to fuzzy cut. So they will be ready for Tuesday and Wednesday because we are going to be making some things for our junk journals and we're going to need that extra time. Whereas this morning will be a little shorter than our other lives. And so this will not interfere with our time. Okay. So how are you all doing today? Is everybody doing well? I hope so. So last week, my Max, now Max is the kitty, Max came home limping both back legs, and it was very terrifying. It scared me. And it turned out that he had what looked like to be goat's heads stuck in between his paws. So we had to take him and get one removed, and my husband has been working on the other one. But as of yesterday, it was 2 days of indoor play, no outside whatsoever. He was not miserable, but was very much voicing his dishappiness, right? He was very unhappy. And he wanted to go out, although he slept well on the bed. You know how they do. And so yesterday we let him out. And as a cat mom, I was concerned because you never know. You know, we're really rural here, and I was worried for him. And but he stuck so close to the house, you guys. It was amazing. because he never stays that close to the house. Usually he goes next door and he wanders about, and then he comes home at bedtime. Well, yesterday he spent the majority of the day outdoors. So my hope is to, you know, kind of nurture that so he stays closer, so maybe he doesn't get in as many cat fights, because he's kind of that boy, right? And he's not all that big, so he just really likes to fight. And so I went ahead and I brought him in at bedtime last night, which was good because he came, his first call, he came. I didn't have to stand there and yell too long. My poor neighbors, right? And he came right in and went right into the house. He was happy to be here and happy to eat and be with the dogs, you know. So it turned out to be a really good thing. You'll notice I'm fuzzy cutting these, and I'm kind of doing it quickly. So what happens is later on, it might require me to come back and just trim any excess. And I do that. Like if I'm fuzzy cutting something, I might take and just do it haphazardly at first and then come back and make it better later if I'm running out of time. Okay. But no, so anyways, he's doing good. He is putting full weight on both paws as of day before yesterday. Then he kind of cracked it open the night before, and then night before last, he was looking so good. That's why I let him out yesterday, and he's doing great. He's putting full weight on both paws, and he's doing good. He's doing really good. So that is my little update on my sweet little Max. And I was so excited this morning, you know, because usually when he's outside, he's like very manly all of a sudden. It's like inside he can be that sweet little cuddly kitten, and then you take him outside and he becomes this ferocious lion that doesn't want to be picked up, and he doesn't want to be, you know, really petted all that long, you know, that kind of kitty. And this morning he was just sweet as pie, just like yesterday, sweet as pie. He wanted to be held, so I picked him up, and he wanted to be cuddled like a baby, and he was so sweet. I didn't want to put him down, so I was actually late just a couple minutes because he was following me around outside, and I didn't want him to feel that I didn't notice that he was there, you know. So I stayed a little longer and talked to him a little longer. I know, for those of you who are not animal people, you probably think I'm a little nuts, but that's okay. I love my animals, and we have 3 dogs. We have 3 healers. 2 are the blue healers, and Libby is a red healer. Libby is the puppy. And then, of course, we have Max, and I just love Max. He is, you know, I had cats growing up, and when we first got married, we had Puff here, but about 2 years ago, Puff, he was getting older, but Puff was out, and it was a very wintry morning, and we think he might have gotten too close to the trash truck that goes through, because he had an injury to his head. But he made it home, and that's where we found him, and it was very sad, and I didn't think I ever wanted a cat again because it broke my heart. But hey, Kelvy. But then we got Max, and Max is my little fun man. I just love him so much, and he's got such a great personality. And so, Kelvy, I'm on my last one here. I apologize. We just have been busy tinkering around the house, you know, doing all the things, catching up on much needed, you know. My husband and my son Ben was here, and Ben has been helping Carl get the yard dealt with. We live where it's rural. For those of you that don't know, we live in Pomeroy, and it's kind of like, if you don't live here, it's kind of like high desert. It gets really, really hot and really, really cold, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But what I run into is that the ground cover doesn't take. And so you end up with this stuff called ground cover that have these huge roots that go into the ground, and you have to pull them out because if you break them off, it's no good. It's no good. They grow back. So they've been out there working. You have to get it all done. I know. I'm with you. I was fighting with this one. So this is the Thursday packet that I'm working on here. So we are about ready now to take a look at our book. So I'm just going to sit this off to the side. This was page 3, 1, and page 2. And then, of course, we have our book. Now, you will need at least, at least one of your scrapbook paper. Those are the full sheets. You will need one of those today in your 110. Lost my comments. There they are. Okay. But you will need at least one. Okay. And then by Monday, you will need your book. You will need all of your ephemera that is remaining, because we are going to have a blast. So today you also need your scraps from yesterday. Okay. So this is what you need. Book, page 3, 1, page 2, all of your scraps, your excess twine from yesterday, and then some of your scrapbook paper. One is sufficient. Some way to cut, whether it's a trimmer or scissors, you'll need that. And then you'll need your adhesives, which I will be using double-sided tape and the glue. And like always, the glue I use is the PVH Neutral PVA. It's from Amazon. Okay. And again, it dries clear, it's flexible, but it holds well. Okay. So those are the things we're going to be needing today. So we are going to start off, let me kind of move some things around. There we go. Okay, so right off the top, we are going to start off with making some little bits first, and then we're going to move into some bigger items. Okay. So taking your scraps and your scissors, you're going to need those first. Taking your scraps, we're going to start with page 3. Okay. This is all the things from page 3. You got your mail. Did you like it? Did you open it? I'm so excited. So Kelvy won last year's #weekly challenge, our huge winning. And what you all had voted for at that time was you had voted for, what are they called? Seasonal boxes. So one person would get seasonal boxes for the year. Well, Miss Kelvy got the seasonal box for the year. So she just got her box, and I had so much fun. There's something on my table. I had so much fun making that. I added all kinds of great things. All right. So I was looking at these last night, and my thought is if you truly like these and you don't want them in your book, you could choose to actually put it as a cover. And I think that's kind of cute. I just really liked it. So I'm going to set this aside with my book as my cover. And then this one is going to go inside. But we are going to come in and do the inside of this shortly, but we're going to make some snippets first. Okay? And you'll notice I'm kind of fidgeting with these because, like I said, when I cut things out at first, they're not always perfect. In fact, I can blame that on the fact that most of the time I'm sitting watching TV. And when I look up, I tend to like move my hand, because your hand moves wherever your eye is looking, right? So if you don't stop cutting, which I have that habit, then you end up with little things all over it, right? So that is how I do that. Okay, so you like that idea too? I think it would be cute. I think that would really be adorable. I think it would look really cute like that. And I think we should put something under it to lift it up, make it pretty, right? And then we'll take and put the cherished memories right inside here. But first, we're going to work on a little flip for in there, okay? So we will get to that. But I think that will be fun. All right, let's make some snippets. Now, if you are not familiar with snippets, snippets are the little things like this, things that are just random little bitty bits of things that you can poke into your book. They're just little snippets. This one is actually a hidden paper clip, which you're going to be making a hidden paper clip this next Monday. Okay, you will be making a hidden paper clip on Monday. And I said Monday. My goodness, my brain is lost. Tuesday, you guys. Tuesday is my Monday. Tuesday is my Monday. So to do your snippets, the first thing you're going to need is some of your scraps. Now, it can be any of your scraps. They don't have to match mine, but you do want to have some scraps of choice, okay? Now, in my scraps, I had an extra piece of this that I didn't use. I really liked it, and I thought, how fun would it be? And initially, I thought scraps would be fun, but I'm also thinking it would make a really cool double piece for my front cover. So I might actually I'm thinking I might use half of it for that and the rest for my snippets. I want to see if that's going to be enough real quick, because once you pull it apart, it's done, right? So I'm not sure if I like that side or not. I kind of liked it up and down. All right. So just for fun's sake, I am going to do this. I'm going to grab, and I'm just going to randomly cut this page for right now, and we'll use the rest as my little snippets. It's not going to be perfect. In fact, it's pretty jagged, but that is a-okay. That is the beautiful thing about these, you guys, is you can rip and tear, and you can just, all the good stuff, right? Okay, so we're going to start off with these little notes. You need to locate your little notes, okay? Now, of course, you could, in fact, take these little notes and you could put them together, something like this, and create a little piece and staple it and put it directly into your book and have a little book. You could do that as well. But my thought is how cute would it be to add these as little snippets into our junk journal? The other thing you have is you have these. Now, when I posted, and again, like I said, mine are going to be a little funky this morning. I'm going to play with them ever so slightly. One of the things I said on the live when I came on is we are doing snips, tucks, and we are doing, I believe we're also doing, what is it called? My brain is a mess. Pocket tucks. Pocket tucks in beautiful layers, and we are doing that today. My brain is a mess, girls. I'm telling you, I need sleep. I think that's part of my problem. All right, so starting off, I'm going to start with just this little piece of snippet. Any of your papers, I want you to grab a piece, and I want you to tear a piece that is roughly 2 inches, and you're just going to tear some random tidbits and put them right onto your notes. Just like that. It can't be any easier, okay? Super duper easy, just tear. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and find another one of my pieces. It can be anything. And we are going to make a tear of about 1.5 inches. Now you will find if you are tearing tissue paper, it is not as friendly as regular paper. See how it kind of makes funny messes? And again, you're going to just tear that down to about 1 inch wide by about 1/2 inch and drop that in your pile. And see how mine's a little? I'm going to add a second one to grow, okay? So you can always put 2 in there and make it grow, okay? And I'll show you how to do that because Lord knows it happens, right? So the first thing we are going to work on is we're going to create some little snippets with these. And I have somehow, there we go. I lost us for a moment. I'm also going to grab one more piece out of the pile. So I've grabbed a piece that had words, a piece that is some of my tissue paper, and now I'm going to grab a piece of rice paper. Again, about 2 inches long. I'm just tearing away, okay? You want it kind of torn on both sides. Pretty simple, right? You can't mess this up, you guys. It's totally fun, and this is something that you can do. Now, I did not cut these out. My bad. We will come back and do these in a few minutes, okay? Because that is something you will need. All right, so these are the snippets. The snippets are going to start off with the little notes. I want you to also pick one of your little bitty envelopes, and I want you to stick one with each one. That is all you're going to need to start the process, okay? All right, so here we go. So the first thing you are going to do is you're going to remove the envelopes, remove the plain paper, remove the papers, something like that, back down to these little guys here, okay? And we're going to start off with glue. So I'm going to take the most neutral piece. So if you have something that is a plain color, you're going to grab that neutral piece. Now, if everything that you are using has multiple colors in it, find the one that has the least amount of color. Now you're going to see me fight with this for a minute. There we go. And you're going to put it up to the top in the left-hand corner. Let's do that again. And again, you know, you want to make sure your glue goes all the way down from top to bottom, as close to the corner as you can get it. Notice the difference, okay? So it starts in the corner, but it's missing pieces, and then it hits the corner here. That's all you're going to do with it. Let's do that again. I'm just going to get all of these little pieces. You will notice that I like to do things in multiples. It's just so much easier if you do them all at the same time versus coming back and having to do another, you know, another one by itself. This way you have 4 identical pieces that you can put throughout your junk journal. That is 2 for each signature, okay? Because we've got 2 signatures in our books. So that is the one that has the least amount of color, okay? Now I want you to go locate the one that has either writing or has the next least amount of color. And we're going to put that one from the top, just slightly overlapping. You will want to make sure you have glue under it, and do that for each one. And I'm just starting it. You can kind of see how they overlap. It's lots of fun, very simple, very calming. Okay. Now the cool thing is this particular way of doing things is super easy in essence, that you could actually use these as a tag. You could put a little hole in the top and make it a tag, or you can use it as a snippet. It's okay either way, okay? So for the next one, we are going to make this kind of interesting. You're going to need to take your scissors, and I've got to remove some of the excess of these. Most of the time I do mine as fuzzy cuts with a white edge, but for this particular one, you are going to want these nice and clean. Now you can use your scissors, or you can use an X-Acto blade. I want you to cut that little round edge here, okay? So for me, I'm just going to fold it kind of in half, and I'm going to snip it right dead center to create a little hole. This is going to become a pocket, okay? So we're just going to kind of follow it around, leaving the outer edges intact. Okay, so it only has this little hole here. See that? So something can go inside. Let's do that again. So we're going to go get your next one. And, you know, if you like the white edge, you can leave it. I just, for this one here, I wanted these to be more of what they are. Okay. All right. I fold it in half. Snip right dead center. Scissors go in that hole, and they come out to the edge. And it might bend a little, but it's not going to matter. Nobody's going to see it. Okay. Do that again for your other 2. Now, if you are already done with that and you're a little ahead, pull out your dimensionals or a scrap of paper, because we're going to build a little dimensional with this little guide to lift him up off your page. Okay. Okay. The last one, again, folding in half. Cut that little snippet, go in it, and bring it out. Just like so. Okay. And like, see how I kind of missed the boat here? It's okay. You can cut that. It's not going to matter. It really doesn't matter at all. Now, if you are somebody that is going to ink these up, you want to ink them now. So you're going to ink the outside and the inside edge of this and the outside of those. I'm not doing any of the inking this particular junk journal. We might do that on our next one, but that will be entirely up to you guys. Okay? It'll be entirely up to you. All right, so now we are ready to go ahead and create a little lift. So for the purpose of this, because oftentimes you all don't have everything we use, I'm just going to use a random piece of the garbage that came off of these. I'm cutting it about a 1/2 inch wide, and we're just going to fold towards us and away from us, towards us and away from us. You're going to do that 2 times, so you have 2 little humps, and tear it off. Do one for each one, towards you and away from you, towards you and away from you. Tear off the excess, even if it's little, okay? Because you don't want too much on that. Here we go. Towards us and away from us, towards us and away from us. Make sure you have 2 humps before you tear it off. Once again, towards you and away, towards you, and tear the remaining. All right. So you officially have your little dimensional creation made. Okay. All right. So now you're going to take this baby and we are going to fold it in half. Now where the bend is, where that bend is, you are going to cut this piece in half. That means you will have 2 of these very slender pieces for every envelope on in front of you. Okay. And again, you're cutting it where you see the bend. I'm cutting it this way across the bend. So the bend is vertical. I'm cutting horizontal. Bend. Okay. Bend vertical. It's right here. I'm cutting horizontal. Okay. Isn't that fun? All right, here we go. So the first thing you're going to do for these little guys is you're going to add glue in the valleys. So we have a valley here and a valley here. We're going to close it, flip it over, open it up, and then close your valleys. A valley here and here, just like that. Okay, that is your first dimensional. Now, of course, if you have some little, if you have dimensionals are this little square, or they possibly could be round. You could use those as well for this, but this works the exact same way, and you don't have to go buy anything, right? So you have 2 of those for each one. Let's do it again. Close in the valleys. Little bit of glue goes a long way. Close and hold. Make sure it sets up before you let go of it. Do it again. I'm going to do this for each one. Now, the reason I did not cut it apart after I had it glued together is what it does is it often will bend the edges downwards. And number 1, we want the height. We don't want to make it any smaller than it is. Okay. Number 2 is sometimes that glue gets on your scissors and makes it harder for you to cut your papers later. And we don't want to deal with that. Okay. So that is why I didn't do it beforehand. There we go. Just making sure it's set up before I set it down. Sometimes if you put a lot of glue in them, you will find it takes them a little longer to set up. So whereas I'm using this tiny, tiny tip, if you're using a larger tip, it may take a little longer for it to dry. So just use a very little bit. It's not going to matter all that much. I just want it to set up. Okay. All right. Oops, this one I didn't go as big as I needed to, but that is okay. It won't matter because they're not all going to be on the same page, so you're not going to see them together, whereas if they were side by side, that would be a problem, right? Remember those little toys, those little paper frogs that we used to make in high school? That's what it reminded me of when it bounced up like that. I know, my brain is a scary place to be. All right, here we go. So anybody watch Gilmore Girls on Netflix? I am so sad to announce they are getting ready to remove it, which I'm so sad. It is not a good thing. I like the Gilmore Girls. I watch it all the time. I've watched the reruns of the reruns, right? But it's all good. All right, so here we go. So on the back of this guy here, you are not going to put your dimensionals up on this top one. We want that top piece to be flat on the against the bottom, but we do want it to kind of portray that maybe it is some sort of envelope that is full, right? So what we are going to start with is we're going to take any of that last piece of paper that you have, you're going to fold it and sit it inside. This is going to become your little letter of sorts. My little letter is really small, so I'm going to see if I can maybe, I kind of want it to, bend. There we go. So I'm going to put it inside, and then I'm going to put just a little glue underneath to hold it in place, because oftentimes these kind of little things, they move around. We don't want that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue on either side of it, because that is where my little dimensionals are going to go. Just like that. Okay, let's do that again. So you'll notice I'm kind of bending it to give it some height, make it flat at the top. Take my little pieces of paper, and like I said, you can make them longer by connecting them. I'm just going to kind of fold them, slide them into it. And because, like I said, this one here was going to be too short, I'm going to have to make sure I get glue inside to connect them and under it. Okay. It doesn't matter if the glue doesn't, isn't connected to anything. If it's sitting there, it's no big deal. We're going to use that in a minute. Okay. All right. Do it again. Again, kind of bend, flatten the top, put your little piece of paper in it. And all you're doing by doing this is you're meshing up your colors. All the colors throughout your junk journal are now all going to be meshed up because you have taken the time to put them inside. Okay. I didn't mean to put glue there, but it's not going to matter. It's just one of those things where I was pressing it down with the nipple of this, and it made a mess, and that's okay. I'm a messy crafter, and I don't mind. All right, so again, I had two small pieces, so I'm going to fold them together like so. I'm going to put them inside of my little envelope. Come back. Push it down and glue. Pretty simple, yeah? Clear as mud. We like it. Okay, so before you go any step further, at this point you can decide if you want to add one of these to it. Now you have little tags and you have papers. I really like the papers. So I'm going to just randomly pick 4 of the papers Any of them will do. They don't have to be identical, okay? And I'm going to use these first. So you have, again, I like the Z pattern. Your eye starts to the right, goes across, comes down, goes across, okay? So we have a starting point. We know our eye is going to go across and down. So we're going to put this little guy off to the side down here. So I'm going to just draw a little line here. I'm going to use this little guy kind of sideways. Okay. And then this guy is going to sit right towards the center. Okay. So that is how I'm going to do mine. Now you could, in fact, you can put it to the side if you like. I kind of like it over there, so we can add something here if we like. So I'm going to put it over here just for fun's sake. Initially, I was going to put it towards the center, but I like it there. So if you like it somewhere else, you put it where you like it. But I'm liking that. I think that's cute. All right, so let's do the next one. I'm going to draw a little line off to the side. I'm going to take and run these to the side. And again, I'm doing all of them the exact same way so that I have 4 matching pieces in my junk journal. Okay. I like that. I think that's fun. What do you think? Is that cute? I think it's cute. Okay, and you're just going to continue all the way down. Get each one. These are going to be little snippets. Now, if you were somebody that had metal pieces that you're adding to your junk journal, you can add a bulb clip to these. You can add a paper clip to these. Any of those kind of things will help elevate your junk journal. So if you have those and you want to add them, go ahead and add them. This just gives us a little lifted piece. Isn't that fun? I think they're cute. I think they're cute. All right. So you can add as much or as little to these as you like. Okay. This is where my stopping point will be on these, but you can add another piece in here. Maybe you had some stickers. Now I did print you some stickers. Trying to see if I printed myself a copy. I do not think I did. I printed you some stickers because I had said I would be using these. Okay, this is when I would use these. I would take and come in here and say, oh, I really like this one. So I might choose to either put it down or across. On this particular one, I kind of like it there. Okay, so if you have your stickers, you can grab them and put them on to add, again, another cutesy layer. There's just so much that you can do with these, okay? This one says memories, but I'm going to remove that by putting it across. And then I might, just for fun's sake, take and put a second one that is off to the side. You know, you don't have to do them any given way. You just pick and choose and drop them. It's that simple, okay? It just gives it one more element. So if you were to look at these and you were going, okay, if I wanted to remember how to do this again, how would I do it? Okay. There are 3 pieces here. You have the back and 2 torn pieces. That makes 3. Okay. For this piece here, you did a little ephemera piece, you did the envelope, and you did the paper inside of it. That makes 3, okay? And now you have your sticker element. And so if you think in terms of 3s, you have your back piece, number 1, your side piece, number 2, and your top piece, number 3. Hopefully that makes some sense to you and helps you see we're working in pairs of 3, okay? So if you ever are wondering about that, that is why I do what I do. I like pairs of 3, and oftentimes it gives you a better picture, okay? So they are cute. I'm loving that. All right, so those are our first snippets. So again, if you have bulb clips, if you have paper clips, maybe you have some little flat clips like this, things that you can add. Maybe you have some, these were the ones that I showed you guys on Friday that I would be using when we started doing ephemera. So I've got buttons and bulb clips, and I dropped something, which I'm not sure what it was, but all of those things, any of those are things that you can use on these snippets, okay? So something I enjoyed doing, you know, I moved my stuff up from over here, and in doing so, it was not a smart decision because now I'm finding myself looking for stuff all the time. You ever do that? You ever move your belongings and you're like, what was I thinking? So if I was to do that, I might put a little hole in the corner. I might say, okay, this would be a good spot for a bulb clip. I might drop one of these in here. There we go. And I might say, I really like, whoop, I'm going to drop buttons today. I really like buttons. So I might take, let me go the other direction. On this particular one, I might put the bulb clip like so, drop it here. And then for fun's sake, I might say, I really like my buttons, so I'm going to just leave the little button guy like so. Okay, you can do those kind. You can also do the opposite direction and, you know, play with things. Play with them and see what you like. Because sometimes what one person likes isn't what you like, right? So you might say, no, I'm not real interested in that. Maybe I like the safety pin. Maybe I like the safety pin instead. Go get the safety pin out and check it out. You might like that better. And see, in my case, if I was going to do a safety pin, I would punch a hole and punch a hole again, and you can use your awl. You can use your ice pick. Maybe you have a pair of tweezers with the tin tip, the really thin tip. See, I kind of like that. What do you think? Do you like the safety pin or do you like the bulb clip? You tell me what you like, and we're going to go with that. Safety pin or bulb clip? Give me your thoughts. I've got all these little buttons here. I'm kind of liking the safety pin. I'm thinking that might be cute. I'm liking the safety pin for this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 with the bulb clip, and I'm going to do 2 with the safety pin, just for fun's sake. Now, you can also take, if you're not too happy with your buttons, you can always take and do something of this nature that has just a little label of sorts. They're often fun as well. Okay, just make sure you lock it in there. But those are often fun as well. They give you something else that you can put on your piece. And I've kind of done them funky there. There you go. Oh, it's upside down. But you get the picture, right? You get the picture. You can do your bulb clips like so. So they are pretty cute. But I'm loving that button. So I'm going to go back to the button. I do like my buttons. So I'm going to put the button in first, and then I'm going to come along and put my bulb clip. Okay. So I'm going to do one more with a button and one with a safety pin. Okay. So I have my bulb clip and a button. Doesn't matter which one. I have a dog hair. Don't like that on there. Okay. There we go. A button and a bulb clip. And then over here, we're going to do 2 little safety pins. So you need 2 holes for the safety pin. Super simple. Now, can you add a piece of lace in that safety pin? Yes, you can. You could add a piece of material, or you could choose to use a piece of your dryer sheet. Any of those things will work. I do like it better with it facing the other direction, so I'm going to fix that now. So you'll notice I do play with things when I'm doing my junk journals. It's all about what you like. So if you don't like the way it looks, fix it now before you put it in your book later. Okay? All right. So we have 4 little snippets. I'm loving the snippets. I think they're super cute. We're going to put these little 4 pieces off to the side for a moment. And we're going to reach for our books. Okay? So you have your 4 snippets. So go ahead and reach for your book. I want you to go in and find any single page in your first signature. Okay? Any single page. And it doesn't matter. Any page at all. So for me, I'm going to start with my first page here. And I'm going to do the same thing with my back. So I'm going to put one with a button and one with one with a button and one with a safety pin in my back snippet, and one with a safety pin and one with a button in my front one. Okay. And we're going to take and just pick any page. So I'm going to start with my first page. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a piece of that plain paper that you had inside. It doesn't matter. Just go ahead and pull a piece off, and we're going to just decorate this page by starting with putting that across the top. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm going to come in just a little bit in case I decide I want lace on the edges. I'm giving myself about half of your thumbnail over, so that if I want to put lace there, I can come back and do that later. I'm also going to take and grab a piece of my tissue paper. So whatever you used here, you're going to use in this particular space. We want to put some at the top of this page. Okay. And I want to make sure that it's glued down. I don't want it lifting up. Okay. So this cutie patootie can go directly on top of that, or you can put it somewhere else. Now notice how it blends in because I'm working with a page that is multicolored. So it disappears into that page. So to get rid of that disappearing act, I might go and find something that will help it stand out. See, that's a little better. Not too great still. So I'm going to go work a little further here. Remember the book that we made? We used my paper in the beginning. I might take a piece of that and tear it. I might add that in as well. Kind of like in that. I just want a random assortment for this particular one. Okay. I just want it to kind of just be random here. Now for this one, if you want to add another metallic element, you can go ahead and use your stapler and staple them together. You might choose that you don't like it this way. Maybe you want it this way. Maybe you want it over some. The whole thing is for you to come up with a way that looks good to you. Okay. So I'm kind of liking that. So I'm just going to tear, put it on like so. I'm liking that, and I'm going to probably overlap on this particular one. This is going to become an item towards the top of my page. You can often put them at the bottom, but for the bottom of this page, we're going to add another element here in a minute. Okay, so if you have a stapler and you want to do a staple, you could put a staple right now and just go from there. The other option is what I'm going to do, and that is I'm going to add just a little bit of glue behind the tops of each one of these. Just like that. Make it simple. And they're going to go just like that on my page. Okay. So I'm going to start off with this little piece here. Make sure I've got enough glue that's going to combine these babies all the way down to the bottom. And I'm just going to line him up all the way to the top. leave a little excess, okay? So that would be my first one. Now, can you do this page identical for the next pages? Absolutely. Do you want to? It's completely up to you, okay? So now I want you to find one of these. This is page 4. Any of these, you need to go and pick whichever one you want. We're going to make this into a pocket where you can tuck things, okay? This is just going to be a little pocket that you can tuck things. Super simple. You cannot mess this up. All you're going to do with this baby is you're going to flip it over and put glue. But before I do, because my opposite page happens to be a dryer sheet, for this, I would normally say put something behind it, such as your dryer sheet. But because this is here, I don't want to take a chance of it lifting. So I'm just going to do that backwards C. Okay, and I'm just going to put it down here towards the bottom, again, leaving that little strip so I can put lace later if I want to. Okay, so now this makes it into a pocket here. See how that works? So now you can go to your page 1 items and pick any of those tags and just put them right inside. Plan to come back later and get yourself your, take your awl, poke them, and put your ties in them. But for right now, don't worry about that. Just put them in there for now. That way you have your place setter, okay? So super simple. So to balance out this page, because we have a full top and a partial bottom, we're going to go back to what we started with, which was this paper here. I'm going to grab a piece of it. I'm going to grab a piece of that newspaper print, the last thing that's touching this. I'm going to put those two together. And again, take a look at it, decide which two you like best. I'm going to offset them is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put one here. And we're just filling up this gap is all you're doing, because this is a very flat picture, but we want the Z shape across the top, down to the side, and over. And once again, you have 1, 2, 3. Did you see that? So to bring everything together, because I did use some stickers here, I'm going to use a sticker down here. It doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason. It can go across, it can go up and down. I'm going to tear mine. I want that little tear part, and I'm just going to run it right through here. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Just to add a little oomph, something to it. And then I'm going to find one of my, I'm going to go look for one of my pieces that match here. So this was from page 3. It matches these little flat pieces like this. I'm locating the one that matches this one in the back. So this matches that. So I'm going to use this one, and it is going to go over the top of those, creating full circle, my full page. Okay. So just simple. Now, of course, it's a little busy because I chose a page that had quite a bit of stuff on the back. Okay. So we're going to go put this page into our first page of our second signature. Notice the page is different, so it may look different, but we're going to do the same scheme. Okay. So the first thing you need is the one, if you started with, your button one, use your button one. If you're starting with your safety pin, use a safety pin. Whatever it is that you put on this side, that's the one you start with. Now, if you didn't choose to put anything there, you can use any of them. Okay. So once again, I'm going to go and find the plainest piece that we started with. Okay. I'm looking here. I'm grabbing my tissue paper. I'm going to grab whatever it is I put behind it, because I want this page to be a mimic of this page. So we're going to start with those 3 items. Okay. Coming in a half a width of your thumb, running it in. Now we are going to be doing some more interactive items, pardon me. Come Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to be doing some flip ups and some fold outs and some fun stuff. But starting off, we're going to put our snippets in today, get our first started. If you are new to junk journaling, and again, go back and look at what you did, because like right there, I would have missed a complete piece of it that I was going to need. So I'm just going to kind of put it around the top. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to perfectly match, but you want similar combinations, okay? Because we're going to make our book, our pages look very similar so that when you thumb through your book, it's going to look perfect, okay? So I'm just going to put in a little line, drop that on there. Put in a little line, drop that on there. Okay, so it's close, it's not identical. I'm going to go ahead and put this right up on that top because that's what we did here. And get all my glue. Okay. And I'll tell you, you know, junk journals are not about the sprint. They're about the journey. So oftentimes, you know, it could take you months to do one junk journal. And instead today we will have a complete junk journal when we finish in 5 days, which is quite, you know, quite a chore at times. All right. So I'm looking for my envelope. I want the one that's similar to the card. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just go find the one that's similar. And that was from your page 4. Okay. And again, if you hold it where it's going to open, you're less likely to put glue where it goes. Okay. Put that there. Come back to your page 1 and pick any of those items. I wanted the little ones that look like tags because that's what I did on the last one. Okay. And again, you know, if you're going to put holes, do your holes now, because you can always add your textile, your twine later, but it's easier if you don't have to have tools in your hand, you know. Okay, so you have those. So going back, we're going to take a quick peek. We're looking pretty good. We're looking well. We're now ready to do this corner here. So mine was a piece of rice paper and a piece of some sort of text paper. And then I did the tag that matches this. So that'll be in your pile with those papers. There will be a tag that matches or somewhat close. So that would look like this. Okay. So now you're ready to go and put those on. So take a quick peek. I know what it looks like, so I'm going to put this up in the top. This one goes next. Lastly, my little piece, and if just in case I decide I want to put my string in, I want to make sure that hole is already in it, and I put it off to the side. Okay, so if you go looking, you can see that this page is very much this page. Now what is missing is the sticker. Okay, right there. So for this one, because I did miss my sticker, I'm going to come up and just put a little one there. Okay, so now I have a sticker here and a sticker here. Okay, so you now have 2 completed pages. Isn't that cool? It's really cool, and I love how they both turned out. Even though they're the same, they're different because of the back page. It changes it, which is always so nice. All right, So now I'm off to my button pages. So let's make it easy on ourselves. Are you ready? Whatever you put in the back, I want you to go grab that right now, and we're going to put one on each one. Ta-ta! Okay? Whatever you put next, you're going to go and get that one. Okay? Again, follow your line down of what you did. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? And then come down and take a look at your bottom pieces. Go ahead and pull whatever your initial piece was. I'm going to put one on that first one on that second one. I know that my next sheet looks something like that. I know I have to add my stickers, so that needs to be in the brain. And then take a look at that back piece and find your matching tag. Okay, so I know those two are not it. You will have a tag that matches both of those. So I just have to find mine. Wonder if I dropped it. Okay, so I'm going to use this one for that and this one. I'm going to alternate them for that. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to go and do our next page. So instead of going directly to the next page, I want you to go to the center of your signature of the first one, and I want you to come back 2 pages. So not your texture pack. Come back 2 pages. 1, 2, and go to that one. So it's technically your 3rd page in. Okay, the reason you're doing that is so that you don't have them close together. You want it kind of in the center. All right. All right, so here we go. Just like your first page, we're now going to do the same thing with those items. Here we go. All right, your piece that looked kind of plain, the plainest piece you have, about 1/2 a thumbs inch in. Next, go look if you need to, would be, oh, and I didn't pull that, did I? Next would be, for me, it's tissue paper. So I have to get some more real quick. I need one of those on each of my piles. Okay. All right, so now I'm good for that. And I'm sorry, I have a little bit of that allergy happening. I'm gonna have to take a drink of coffee real quick. It's a good reason to take a drink, right? All right, so go take a peek if you need to. Next is my brown piece and my next piece with this on top. So notice how this one here, because I didn't really gauge how much I was ripping off. These two are the same because I did it quickly, but they're not exactly like the other. That is okay. It gives it a little character, and that is what you want in your book. We like character. We like things to be slightly different. Nobody is going to open your book and say, oh, your pages are all wrong. Nobody will ever do that to you, okay? I do want my bold clip to lay flat, though. There it is. Okay, now we're good. All right. Now I'm ready to go put this on. And then I'm going to peek back, make sure I didn't miss anything. I look pretty good. I like it. It matches close enough. I'm ready to move on. Okay. So now you're going to find you only have these 2 remaining. Now notice they're not identical. So I'm going to use this one as my back page because it's far enough away that it's not going to matter. Whereas this one here is closer to the beginning of your book, which people tend to notice the beginnings of our books more than our ends. Do you ever notice that? So I'm going to use something different here. Like so. Okay. So this little guy is going to go here. Now notice right off the bat, he is much smaller than this guy. Okay. So to put something in him, I'm not going to go from the top because it's small. I'm going to go from the side. So I'm going to turn, and I'm going to put my little C going around the edge of him. So the opening this time is going to slightly come from the edge. So I have this little guy here, and I think for fun's sake, I'm going to lock him in, put a little glue, okay? And I'm going to grab one more, and I'm going to lock that in. So notice how I just changed it up just a little bit, but it's going to give me a whole different look. Isn't that fun? All right. So over here, back page, front page, your side page, there we go, like so. Okay, so notice how it's just slightly different than the first one. Okay, so you have your first one, you've got several pages, and then you'll have this page. Just slightly different. Okay, it's cute, it's fun, it's slightly interactive. This one, not so interactive, okay, but it does have our cute little button. This one had interactive pieces. Okay, all right, let's go again. Go to the back page. Count in 3 pages. So you have 1, 2, get to that 3rd page. Oh, that one's pretty. Don't we like that? Now, if it is super pretty and you don't want to cover it, you don't have to. You can go over a page. I'm going to cover it because I like the rule of 3. I think it's fun. So I'm going to stick with it. All right, here we go. So the first piece is going to be 1 inch in, 1/2 of your thumb in, which is about 1/2 inch, pardon me. Okay. The next piece is going to be your next lightest color, and then a pattern of some sort. Now notice this is where I actually conjoined it, so I'm going to use this as the back. So I'm going to go ahead and just line this one up. And again, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to totally match the other page. It's just going to have the same look, but slightly different. And that's what you want. You want things that are just slightly different all the way through your book. It's the subtlety of the change in it that makes it really fun, I think. Okay, what did I do? I missed something. Okay, I knew I did. So this one here, I actually missed this little piece here. There we go. And now I'm good. I knew I missed something. You can always tell right before you go to put it down. You'll be like, what did I do? That's the nice thing about doing several pages at once. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Okay. So our last page that we did, you'll notice that instead of using a bunch of those little tags, we used the next papers over. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. So our next page, there it is. We used it kind of to the side, and we used these ones up here. You're going to use those ones again, okay? So for this one, start off with the pocket like, okay? Start off by holding it where your pocket would naturally go, because it's like the other ones we did. And now we're going to put these little guys, I'm going to kind of slide it into the glue, and I'm going to do this one with glue on it, okay? Now, of course, you can choose to use those in your pockets if you like. But for me, I want it to kind of hang out, kind of like the last one we did. It's not entirely the same, but it's close. Again, going in with your, and I am putting it over the top of that, so I'm just kind of layering here. Layers are fun. They can be boisterous and very loud, or they can be very soft-spoken layers where you can't tell they're quite there. I like things that have just a little difference in them. Before I put that one on, I almost forgot my sticker again. I'm going to use the half of the sticker that I used last time. Now I will come back in with this. Put it off to the side, and you have your layers. So you now have completed 4 pages in your book. Okay, so you have your book, and again, this will thicken up and you won't have to worry about it moving. Right now, you're still building. It's going to move around a little bit, okay? So you have your first page, you're skipping a bunch of pages, and then you have your next page. Then you're going to go to your next signature, where you will have first page, skipping a bunch of pages towards the back, and then your next page. So do you see how easy it is to kind of move things throughout your book, and they will be the same, but they will be different, okay? So you've got 4 pages completed. How cool is that? All right, let's keep going. So I'm looking at the time. It's 11:45. I can't see my comments again. Where did you go? There you are. So we had talked a little bit about the front cover when we first went live, when we came across these pages. I really liked them. So whatever you used for just behind your snippet, whatever you used there, I want you to put that behind your junk journal treasures if you are copying this. If you are not, you put whatever you want, okay? The beauty in junk journals is having the ability to make it your own, right? It's about creativity, and it's about just, you know, having fun with it. Now, I'm removing some of my white edge, not all of it. I'm just making them straight because this is my cover, and I want it to be pretty. Now, if you used a dryer sheet in your book, I would like for you to find one. If you used some of your tissue paper, I would like for you to find it. Okay, so I'm going to locate some of those items like so. Okay, any of those that you have that you're using in your book. So if you didn't use a dryer sheet, maybe you used, and dryer sheets, again, they're finicky. Just know you need to use material scissors on it. But if you didn't use a dryer sheet and you use material, I want you to use whatever you used in its place in that book. I want you used on your cover, okay? If you didn't use a coffee stained book page, maybe you used a newspaper sheet, I want you to pull a newspaper sheet. But I do want you to find the journal treasures and whatever you used in place of tissue paper. Now, if you chose not to put any of those items in your book, you can just as easily take this and put it right on the front cover, okay? But whatever you used in your book, we're bringing it out of our book onto the cover is where we're headed, okay? All right, so starting out, we're going to build layers. So right off the bat, I really liked the book page. So I think in this case, I want to tear the edges around it just to ruffle it up just a little bit. So I am going to take, and I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm just going to come to the very edge, and I'm going to try, it doesn't always work, okay, because I often do this off the edge of a table, okay? It makes it easier to grab. See how I'm having trouble lifting it? If you do it off the edge of your table, you'll be able to lift it better. I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to pull some of those pieces. I got to get to the edge again. There we go. I'm going to pull some of those edges like that. And I'm going to keep these, okay? Don't throw out your littles. Now, where things weren't perfect, you can just nip and tuck off, okay? So knowing I had to come in a little bit, I'm still good. So I'm good there. So I just need to do the bottom. So again, I'm going to lift it because I'm on a flat surface. I'm not kidding when I say it's so much easier at the corner of your desk. Do it where you have more room for your fingers, okay? So you can kind of see where I went off it there. I'm going to just kind of wing it, okay? But I'm going to tear it at the top and tear it at the bottom. And I'm going to tear it at the side. Now, it is shrinking it up as I do this, so I'm going to show you a way to make it work, okay? All right. So I've got all my torn edges, right? Notice how it's about the same size as it, so you're really not going to see it if you put it right under it. But there is a way to fix this, okay? So you can do one of two things. You can cut it at a diagonal and pull it from the corner to the corner and separate it where it shows like this on one side and like this on the other. Or you can cut it down the center and just spread it where it has a piece on one side and a piece on the other. Or you can cut it through the center and do the same thing from the top. So in my scenario here, in looking at what I'm looking at, I really think this is too bland for what I want. So in doing that, the reason I showed you that is because what's going to happen is when I remove this, it's immediately going to be too skinny and too short. Let's make it grow. Okay, let's make it grow. So I'm going to turn it in half. I'm going to go right to the center, and we are going to tear that in half. And you're probably going, girl, you are nuts, right? Nah, we've got this. So I want mine where it's showing at the top and the bottom corner, just like that. See how that works? So we stretched it. Now you could choose to put it directly in the center. You can choose to do it on the other side. This is all about your eye and what you like, okay? Kind of like that. I like the Z pattern, you know I do. So that is why I'm going back to that corner and this corner as my book topper, okay? I like the Z. Now, because I also want to elevate it, I want to add more to it, I am going to be adding some dryer sheets, okay? Now, when doing dryer sheets, you can put them on just the way they are, or in my case, I like to ruffle them up and get all of that fiber to loosen and make it look stringy, okay? That stringiness, I love the look of it. It's just really pretty. It's a little more feminine, not so stiff, okay? So I'm going to pull it like so. And as you can see, it kind of grows. See, it went from this to see how big it got. Same thing. You're making it grow. Once you get it there, I want you to go down and cut half apart because we're going to use a piece in the top and a piece in the bottom. These are going to come underneath the corners that don't have that paper. Okay, so let's start with that. So right off the bat, upper right hand corner. Hey Trudy, upper right hand corner is where I'm going to put my first dryer sheet. And again, if you use something other than a dryer sheet, you're going to do that behind your upper corner. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a line, and dryer sheets are very porous. They're going to hold a lot of your glue. So make sure that you are giving it extra glue over the top of it. Okay. And I'm going to just line this up right on there. So now you have a double base. You have a dryer sheet and you have the top. Let's do that again. Making sure everything's good here. Now I'm going to put it in this corner, okay? So I'm going to start with, put a whole bunch here to hold my dryer sheet. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to put the glue all the way across, because this whole side here will have your paper. Whoop. Yeah. Nope, your paper's going to go the other side. Don't worry. We'll use that glue up in a minute. Okay, so it is going to go on this side because it's opposite, right? Yeah. Trying to get it off there. There we go. Okay, so I've got hairy stuff in this corner, hairy stuff in this corner. It's just the dryer sheet, but you get the picture. And it's going to go right to the center of my book. Okay. You can choose to add stickers to this at this point if you want to. You can choose to add more of your paper. I want to add some of this paper because this is what's inside of my junk journal. So in my case, I think for this particular one, I want it to kind of go behind these corners and not necessarily to top and bottom. Okay. You're catching up? Oh, you got card repairs? Oh, honey, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to remove it this way to get my edges. Okay. And again, keep those extras and see it's not perfect, and that's okay. I like not perfect. All right. I really embrace the not perfect when doing this because of the fact that it is going to give you a much better look in the long run. You know, some of our journals are perfectly cut. You know that. There's journals out there that we have made that are perfectly cut. This is not that journal. So again, I'm lining it up on top of whatever it is you use there where I put my coffee stained book page. And I'm just going to, again, remove any excess. If you don't have a ruler, you can, in place of it, you can use your bone folder. You can use a piece of cardboard or chipboard. It does the same thing. But now see how I have that other layer? Because that layer, everything there matches almost everything I have inside of my book. So we're bringing the inside to the outside. So Miss Trudy, we did 4 pages with snippets already today. They went by pretty fast. Now, before you put it on, make your determination. Do you want lace? If you want lace on your cover, you want to apply it first and then put your centerpiece on. The reason I say that is sometimes we put our lace on after and it covers up all the work we did, right? We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we can see all that beautiful work, okay? So in my scenario, I'm not going to put lace on the outer cover of my book. I will have it through here, and we will do that together. Depending on how much time we have today, we might start it today, but we'll definitely finish that next week. So I'm liking the idea of having my cover here. Now, one more thing before you put it on, you also need to decide, do you want it elevated? Meaning, do you want to put some dimensionals underneath it, or do you want it flat? I want mine flat. The reason is sometimes when you're putting books in and out of a bookcase, it will rip them off if there's dimensionals. So for me, it makes sense to make it flat. But you can do it any way your heart desires, okay? This is your book. Do it your way. We will be creating a lace latch from the inside of the book, so don't worry about doing it from the outside. Oftentimes people put them from the outer side of their cover. We will not be doing that. It'll be on the inside, and we will be doing your latch this next week, okay? So just know we'll be working on that together this next week. So I'm going to make sure that it comes all the way out on my tissue paper. Again, my glue dries clear. If yours does not, don't put it where you'll see it. Okay. So this is going to be the front cover of my book. She is pretty. Look at that. What do you think? You like that so far? I like having all the extra edges. I always think that is like really fun. In the camera, I'm sure it's not like perfect where you can see all of that. If I had coffee dyed my dryer sheets, you'd be able to see it better, or even inked the edge, you would see it better. Okay, I chose not to do that, but that is my cover. What do you think? You like that? It's really fun. It is really fun. All right. So to carry my cover to the spine, remember these pieces that I tore off earlier? If you have pieces that you tore off earlier, you can apply it to your spine. So to carry my pieces out, I'm going to just open it from the center of my book. I'm going to put them across like so. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of put them right across the top because we're bringing our inside of our book out. That's why I started inside first, so you could kind of see where we were headed. Because oftentimes when somebody else is making the decisions for you, you don't see the process, right? And I want you to be able to know how I did it and why. That is why, is I start from the inside and bring it to the outside. Okay, so I'm just making this little belly band, this little book band look like the front. So I brought this little paper out to the front. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And then I'm just trimming up any excess that comes off of that little piece. Now, if you had chose to make yours go the whole width of your spine, you didn't have to do it that way. Okay. Now, I have been debating on whether or not I want to do lace on the spine as well on the outer pieces. I just have not made that final decision, so I have been waiting. I want to see what it looks like in my pages first, but I may end up coming back to this and adding lace. If you want lace on yours, you can add it now. Okay, that's the beautiful thing with this. Again, it's your book, your way. Okay. So lastly, we are going to be using that final page, this one. We will be using this page inside of here. So just keep it with your book for right now. In the meantime, let's decorate it just a little bit. We're going to make it similar to our cover. So anything you used on your cover is fair game for this page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one little chunk of that dryer sheet, and I'm just going to make it all snippet, okay? Because I want to kind of bring that into play. And again, I'm after the fibers. That's why I take the time to do this, is I want those little fibers pulling out, okay? It just makes it look really nice when it's in there. So for this page, I'm going to go locate just a little chunk of my back piece. I have a dryer sheet and then a little bitty snippet of whatever was in that place. And I'm just going to add it right here to the corner. And again, all you're doing is bringing the inside of your book to that page, so that everything will coincide and it will match beautifully when you're done. So when you're done today, you'll have 4 solid pages completed. You'll have your cover pretty much done. Unless you're going to add your lace, you want to make sure you do that. Okay. So I'm trying to decide if I want it to, I don't want it to go over this. So I think I'm going to put this down here. I am going to put my little paper snippet here. It's got a straight edge, so I'm putting it to the edge. If it had a curved edge, I might move it over a little, okay? So I'm going to put it something like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my dryer sheet. Again, give it a lot of glue because it needs to hold. Okay. And then I'm going to start with this and build it up again. So you're just grabbing your scraps. You're using the same scraps we've been using this whole time. So whatever you used in place of tissue paper, you're going to put that there. Whatever you used in place of what I used for my coffee stained piece, you're going to put it here on top. All right. So I have my little sheet ready. This is ready to go inside my book. It has everything on it that I used on my cover will be right here. So that same look is going to travel throughout my book. Okay. And that's why you're doing that, is it matches our pages. Okay. You did 1, 2, see if I can find the next one. It's in the next one. There it is. 3, 4 pages today. You have your inner page, which will go here, but don't tack it in yet because we are going to be adding, we need to add your closure in here first and cover it. You have your front page and you have the start of your binding page. This is your book cover. Okay. We did not do anything on the back. So if you're going to do something on the back, take some items that you used in the front and put them toward the back. Okay. So since the back is not going to have a cover per se, I would do just simple. I would take and locate a couple of those pieces. So maybe, you know, maybe you did just some random paper. I might put one up in the right corner, one in the left corner, one in the right corner, bottom right, so that you have that Z pattern again. Okay. And notice I'm not worried about the shape of it. I'm just putting it on. Okay. I'm liking the little number. I might put that in the bottom corner. So I'm going to just, again, just some randomness here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to make sure it's tacked down really well though, because I don't want it to get lost in my other books on my bookshelf, because that would be a tragedy, right? This has just some slight words on it and the number 7. Nothing important. Okay. And then again, using some of those random pieces that we threw out, I'm just going to again go across from the outer edge in and over. Now, can you use a dryer sheet on this? Absolutely. Can you put your lace on it? If you put your lace on your front cover, put your lace on the back cover. It's that simple. Whatever you did here, you can do here. Okay? You just put it on there. Now, is this plain? It is. Does it have to be? It does not. Okay? You can add as much or as little as you like. In this scenario, I'm just doing the upper and bottom corner. It's my back cover. I'm not super worried about it. I have a feeling over time we will find something inside of our ephemera kit on on Tuesday or Wednesday that I might want to add to this. So it will not be plain, but for now, I'm keeping it with what is on the front cover, some of those items on the back cover. Okay. I did not put a dryer sheet on my back cover. I probably will add it later. Okay. Just so you know. So just random little tidbits is often nice to have. All right. So in amongst all this, we are now ready to make some final snippets. So go ahead and sit your book aside. You have 4 pages and the cover is started. You have your inner piece for your middle piece. Now you had a bunch of random littles like this. These are what you have remaining. Okay, and again, if you had any metal pieces, buttons that you were going to use, put those off to the side. Okay, so you have these little pieces. We are going to make some snippets for each of your signatures. Okay, so we're going to make just 2 out of all of this stuff. Are you ready? All right, here we go. So starting with your envelope, I want you to cut your envelope either in half this way or in half this way. Okay. We're not so much after the envelope in this as we are the little pieces. Okay. So you can cut it any way you like. I'm just using the lace portion of it. Like so. Okay. Those are my two pieces. This little random piece I am going to throw into this one here. So I'm going to just kind of recreate a bigger piece by moving it up. Okay. It's not going to be perfect. It's just, I want it to be just a little wider. Okay. All right. There you go. The next piece that you're going to need is pick any two of, pardon me. Ready? All right. So the next piece you're going to need is you're going to pick any two of these as your base. So this one here is already like its own base, but we're going to build this one up. So let's do this one first. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put glue on just one half. Look at your pile. Pick any one of these. I'm going to just grab a random piece and I'm going to put it right on top of that one. Okay. We are now going to create another one of these with two of these. So see how this looks? So go ahead and pick any two of these items. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to draw a line, little X across both of that pile. Any other one that you see, and you're just going to set it directly across, making it look like that one. Let's do that again. You ready? You have two remaining. One in the back. Draw that little X from the bottom edges. Take it, put it across. There you go. And one more time. Because today when you walk away, you will be completely done with these papers. You won't have to go back and do them again. Okay. Got it? So now you have 2 and 2. So looking at your paper that you did, we are going to go to our scrap pile, and whatever you used in place of your tissue paper, you need to grab now. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. It will be fine. Okay. The other thing you will need is you will need your stickers, your mock stickers. Now, I made you a bunch of different ones that you can print. I want you to just go grab a sticker for each pile. They don't have to match. They can be all different. They can be all the same. I'm using actual stickers, but you can use stickers you have on hand. You can use the stickers that I made you, either way. Okay. So you have your sticker. Now, if you use dryer sheets in your book, I want you to go find a piece of a dryer sheet and you're going to stretch it out and cut it in half. Mine is going to be, starting out, it was about 2 inches by 1 inch. And once I pulled it apart, it'll be about 2.5 inches by about 1.5 inches. I'm cutting that apart and putting one in each pile. Okay. And see how I broke it? Okay, that happens. Like, I can't tell you how often it happens. If that happens and you've ripped it apart, just put that in your pile as one, and then you can always add another piece if you want to, or you can take and see how I have the extra there. Now I have a full one, and then I can tear this and make it thicker and bigger for my next piece. Okay, pretty simple. All right. So we did a twine enclosure. You had extra twine available. I want you to take about 4 inches and I want you to tie a little bow. It is easiest to do these either by putting it between your finger and going like so through the middle. And what I do is I like to go through the middle twice, and then I take that extra piece and I run it back around. If you want to see it again, I'll show you again. Okay. But I like to put it like this. It works for me. It doesn't always work for everybody. And I will be honest, there are times where it doesn't always work for me. Okay. There are times where it just does not. But I need you to make a little bow if you want to. Now, if that is not a bow for you, the other kind of bow you can do that is much easier, okay, is taking and making a figure 8. Make a little figure 8. Take another piece and come around it and just tie a knot. So you've got your little bow piece and then you have a knot. Maybe. So make sure you get your figure 8 in there. There we go. And I wasn't paying attention and I may have grabbed the wrong piece. There we go. I'm good. So you can do it this way. It will create 2 legs on it versus just the one, but they're just as cute and they make a cute little bow. Now, if you are not a bow person, maybe you're a knot person. You can take one of your pieces and pull a little knot. And your little knot piece will work just as well. Okay? Got that? So I kind of like the knot version for this book. So I am just going to go through and make a little knot for each one of mine. It is completely up to you how you want to do your book. I just like the idea of having an extra element in these pieces. Once again, the number is 3. 1, 2, 3, and then your knot element. So technically 4 if you were counting it that way. Okay? But I do like having just a little element of something there that is added. Okay? But you can do the bow if you prefer the bow. I always like to show you that because there are times when I go with a bow and there's times where I don't. Okay? All right, now we're ready to put these together. Let me see where we're at. Whoop. As far as, okay, I'm good. My phone has been not charging. So what I found is I've had to take and I've had to be real diligent in making sure I have some sort of cord close by. And so I just want to make sure we're still good real quick. But we've had problems with our devices here staying charged, and I think part of that is that we just need new chargers. It's been a while since we've done them. How about you? Just making sure I can see you, see my comments. There you are. Okay, you're back. Okay, so here we go. So these little pieces here that we had from the beginning, if you're going to use them in here as a piece of it, you're going to need 4 pieces. So I'm just going to randomly cut this one little piece as an additional piece. Now notice they're not perfect. It's okay. It doesn't have to be. The other thing I'm going to do is use the same exact tissue paper I used on the cover. I'm going to use just a little piece of it. And it's random, okay? It's totally random. You just randomly pick your pieces and then we'll go put it together. All right, here we go. Are you ready? So I'm going to slide everything over because we're going to do this repetitiously. Like I said, I like doing things multiples at a time. It just makes it go easier. It makes everything stay matched within your book. All right. So the one sitting on top should be on the left of each of these. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're going to start off with the biggest piece that you have. Okay. So in my case, the biggest piece in my pile is going to be my stickers. So that is not a good one to start with. So I'm going to leave that piece to the last. So the next biggest one would then be my dryer sheet. So I'm going to start with the dryer sheet. I'm going to put it in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's going to kind of dangle off. Okay. See how it's kind of cockeyed? It's dangling off. I'm going to do that to each one. Bottom right-hand corner, dangle it off. Now, these little snippets are perfectly matched that if you wanted to make them into hidden paper clips, you could easily do that. So if you want to make these into paper clips, hidden paper clips, please let me know in the comments and I will show you how to do that. Okay. If not, we'll just put them into our books as just another little piece. Don't forget your dryer sheet is very porous. Make sure you put lots of glue underneath it. Okay. Mine is stuck to my finger. All right. The next piece, whatever you used in place of your tissue paper, if you use tissue paper, I'm going to put that on the opposite side, up at the corner. Again, this is just a random snippet, so just enjoy the process. Okay. The opposite corner, again, we're keeping in our Z pattern. We've got our eye goes up here and ends here. Okay. So you've got your pieces. All right. The next piece that I'm going to do is the paper component. Okay. Whatever your paper component is, mine were those little broken pieces. That is going to go on top of my dryer sheet. And again, more glue is important for that. Okay. I had 4 of them. Where did it go? There it is. I see it. So we're just putting that on top of the dryer sheet. Again, you're keeping in that Z pattern, starting at the right, ending at the left. Okay. All right. So before we go any further, I forgot one little piece. And this is another good reason why doing them like this is smart, is because it will help you in the long run. So going back to the cover, what did we use? We used this piece here, right? So whatever you put in that place, find some of those little papers. We're just going to just kind of randomly sit them inside of this. And I'm just grabbing just a little piece. I just want just a little bit of it poking out. It doesn't have to be a lot. Now, if you have a whole sheet of paper that you have words and things, you could put a bigger sheet than I'm doing here. I just chose to put a little bit because I want it to stick out. That's all. Okay. All right. So to make these different, because we're going to be going through our book, somewhere in your pile, you should have a remnants, some long remnants from yesterday. Okay. Long remnants. So this kind of matches our front cover. It's not perfect, but it came off of that page. See how long they are? So for this piece, I want you to kind of just bend it. Okay. You're just going to kind of bend. Now, if you were using a piece of, if you were using your ink, you could ink this up and it would make beautiful lines. But by bending it, because this is 110 paper, it makes it more pliable. Once you've done that, set it to the side, bend another piece. You want it about the length of this little piece here. Okay, you're almost making like a ribbon. Okay, that's kind of the idea here. Just get it loose because we're going to be using it. Just bend it up, crinkle it up, and give it some life. Okay. You will find that there are some things that you use in your junk journal that they look better bent than just flat. Okay. That is what you're doing here. You're bending this piece. Okay. So now we're ready to start putting it together. Okay. Before you do anything, go locate your lace that you plan on using. If you're not going to be using lace in your junk journal, then don't worry about this step. Okay. But in mine, I'm going to be using a couple different laces. So I'm going to start with this really thick lace. Now you can put it right across the center, or you could choose to take and make it, I'm going to do about a 2-inch space in each one of mine. Okay. So these are going to be the top snippets, the top pieces for my snippets. Okay. And again, you don't have to use lace. If you don't want to use the lace, you don't have to. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rough it up, pull some of those edges. I want it to get all frayed. Okay. Now you can fold these in half. You can cut them apart. It's completely up to you. I'm going to use it just the way it is now that I've roughed it up, and I'm just going to put it right dead center. So you've got all that prettiness underneath. I'm looking at it. Mine is going to be a slightly too wide, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove some of the outer area because I want this baby to be on here, but I don't want it to take up all of everything. Okay, so see how I'm creating kind of a torn up piece? That's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Make sure you keep your pieces together though. So in this one, in this case, I want it about 1 inch wide, and then I'm going to pull it apart. And if you're not using lace, don't worry, leave yours the way it is, because the next step is going to cover all that area anyways. Okay. There's that. Do it again. And again, save all those little remnants from your lace because you can use it into other snippets later. Okay. And I'm one of those that, like, anything I use from this book, I save as I'm creating it. Once you're done, then throw away any leftovers. Don't try to keep it for the next book, because then you will have a mess of a pile sitting somewhere waiting to be used, and you'll never go back to it. We always think we're going to, but we never do. Okay. All right. But for now, hold on to everything. You might just use it. You know, you might end up putting it in your book this next week. We might add it in. Okay. And depending on your lace, yours may look a little different than mine, but I'm wanting it to tatter just a little bit. That's the purpose. It's just to get a little tatter in it. You're making new old again, right? All right. So you have all of the little layers that we've been working on. Okay. You've got all 4 of them here. You're going to take that little piece that looks like we have ripped it apart. Okay. You ready? So I'm going to take, and I'm just going to kind of take my scissors, and I'm just going to kind of roll it over my scissors back and forth. You can do them with it closed. It would probably be better so you don't cut yourself. If you're worried, you can take and you can wrap it this way and then go back and unwrap it and then do your curves. I just find it's easier to just put it here and then I come back, put it here. I want some curves in this because this is going to be like a paper ribbon that we're going to use. Okay. And sometimes they don't look as well as we want them to. Sometimes they do. Okay, there we go. I've got some curve happening. So where the curve touches down is where my ink, my glue is going to go. Okay. So we've kind of created a paper ribbon per se. See how it kind of looks like that? Okay, like a little accordion. So now I'm going to go in, and on each one of those mountains there, that is where your glue is going to go. Put it right on top of the mountain. Okay, that goes to the center. And then once you have it on, go ahead and press down just a little bit. Don't flatten so much as keep some of that lifted. Okay. Let's do that again. So again, you've already played with it a little bit, so it's a little more pliable now. So I'm just using the top of my scissors. And you'll notice they're not like perfect. See how it's like kind of wiggly? That's why I use my scissors and don't just roll it with my hands. Okay, there you go. Squishing it, flipping it over. Just find those mountains. So if you've never made paper ribbon before, welcome. You just did. And again, putting it onto the center. It doesn't have to be perfect either. Notice this one here is a little bit, I'm going to press it down. So see how it's not exactly perfect? It's just kind of ribboned up. That's what you're wanting. You're wanting it kind of ribboned. Let's do the last one. Rolling it up. And I'm just holding it with my finger. Okay. You got your ribbon. Flip it over. Put it on the mountains. Now, I have seen people do it this way and make them into like little flowers. It's a simple way that you can get them to ribbon up for you. Push them in and then push them down. Okay. See how they're kind of flat and absorbed? So when you push it down, it changes the look of them. And that's okay. That's what we want. Roll. Holding it together. Roll. Holding it together. Roll. Holding it together. Notice this one here is becoming longer as I do it. That happens too. It's okay. We're after the inconsistencies. We're after that wonderful look of character. It's slightly different. Once it's on, when you push it down, it's going to change the look again. See that? Okay. So it just looks just slightly different every time you do it, and that is okay. That's the character in it. Okay. All right. So you have all the little pieces. If you had some of these remaining and you wanted to add them into that, you can. I am not. I like it just very kind of basic and simple. I had here those stickers that I'm going to use. For me, I want them smaller, so I like to cut things in half. Okay. So I might take the little sticker and put it up under like so. Okay. Same thing with this one. I want them a little smaller, so I might take a sticker and put it up under. And again, I'm going from the right hand side underneath the lace, and it's kind of like hanging off. It's not completely stuck on there. See? You're just adding your little pieces. And by putting it on now versus putting it on at the beginning, then it allows you to lift up whatever you had sitting there, and it's less likely to be too big. Okay, so that's why I do it in that order. There we go. All right, so you have this random pile of stuff. So this is just a different way to do a snippet. So in your ribbon, I want you to find one of these little valleys, and I want you to put your little knot in the valley. So in this one, my valley is the biggest, so that's where my knot is going to go. Okay, so it's just a little clump of stuff, but it's going to match everything in your book because we have little bits of everything. Finding another valley that's kind of big, that's where my knot's going to go. Now, if you did a bow, put it off to the right because it's going to be bigger. Put it off to the right towards that corner. But in my case, I went with the knot. The knot, I want it to be part of it, but I don't want it to be overtaking. They're just simple snippets. Okay. There you go. So now we've used up some of our scraps. We've created these cute little snippets that can match our entire book. They're not meant to be a total full-fledged piece, okay? They're not meant to be a total full-fledged piece. Now, if you wanted to make these into a hidden paper clip, you would connect two, and I could show you how to do it. But we are going to make some hidden paper clips come Tuesday or Wednesday. I have it on my list depending on what day we have most time to do it. Okay. But for now, we're going to use at least two of these for pocket tucks. Okay. What is a pocket tuck? A pocket tuck is something that holds something in its place. Okay. So in this case, let me move this over so you can see. So we started off with page 1 in our book today, right? So in this case, since we did page 1 and we did page 3 from the back, I'm going to go to the center of my book and I'm going to open it. Now, instead of doing the left side, we are going to do the right side. So this cutie patootie little tuck is going to come in the corner. Okay. You can, in fact, put them in the top and tuck something under them. Let me show you what I mean. So depending on where you put your glue, this could be a tuck to hold it above, or you can put it in the corner and have a tuck to hold it in the corner. It is completely up to you. Okay. In this case, I kind of like the top. So I'm going to go with the top on this one. I'm going to put it up here so that it holds things like this. Okay. So to do that, you can either staple it onto your page and use it as something that holds. Now, I'm going to point out to you that when you flip this page, it does happen to be this one. So I need to go back and find my center and not do it with the pages we did today on the back. I want a different page. There we go. There's my center. I'll do it on here. Okay, so we are going to do it on the right-hand side. So this will become a tuck over here. Now, if you want to, you can take and staple it in, but you will have a staple over here that you will have to cover later. In this case, I'm going to do a tuck, but I'm going to add just my glue. So if this is the top, I'm going to put just my glue at the very, very top of this piece. Okay, very top. And I'm going to put it right down in the center of my paper and hold. The reason is I want this to stick really well. Now I am putting it on a rice paper, which is fine. It's going to hold just fine. So when I come along later, if I want to put something in it, it would slide just like that. What do you think? You like that? It is cute. They don't look cute on their own. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like these kind of things on their own, but I think they look cute once they're in the book. Okay, so there's your first one. Go to your second go to your second signature, find the center of your book, which is here. I'm going to come back to that next page. Okay. Once again, I'm going to put one just like the last one. Glue right across just the top. So again, you have a tuck. Okay. How cute is that? All right. Now going back to my first signature, I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to go to the center of my book. And this time I'm going to go to the page that's just after, not your texture pack, not the first page, but the next page on the right. Now again, you can put it at the top if you like them that way, or you can put them at the bottom to make it a tuck like so. So I'm going to do this one from the bottom. To do the bottom, you're going to hold the top, flip it over, and do a backwards L. Okay, and I'm going to show you that again in just a minute. So your glue is only where my finger is, like this. Okay, so that this piece can tuck right inside. All right, let's do that again. Going to my back signature, holding it up, finding the middle page, moving it over 2 pages. So it would be middle page, regular page, whatever is next. That's where it goes. And again, holding it from the top, flipping it over, backwards L. Oh, I oopsed. Okay, hold the phone. Sorry about that. So it needs to be a forward shape. Oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry. Because you want it to take and go through the corner. Okay, like this. Okay, so you want glue here and here. All right. Now, if you had wanted this to be a pocket where you put things from the top and you don't put anything else off to the side, you would do a U shape, but you have a lot of pockets that are the U shape that you will be cutting out and using on Tuesday and Wednesday. So these, they stand alone pretty much on their own. Okay. So what do you think? Tell me what you think about your book. What do you think about how far we've come? Today you have your front cover, you have your binding, which you can add more to. I'm waiting on that. You have your back cover, okay? We've created this piece that's going to go inside of it. Come on Tuesday when we do our closure, you'll need that piece, okay? Then you have your book. You have your first page we completed today. Okay, so you would be looking through my book. It would be looking something like this at this point. This is just a little walk through my book so you can see where I'm at with mine. Again, as you add things to your book, your binding will tighten up. If it's not tightened, we will go back and we will tighten it later. You have your second page we did together. I've got some pages. You have your first little tuck spot. So this is where things can tuck in. Okay. We have more pages. You have a tuck corner. More pages. So you're using your snippets as tucks. So that is something that, if you're not familiar with that, that is what we did today, is we created four snippets that were tucks and 4 snippets that were used to decorate with. Snippets are fun because they can be all different things. Okay, so we're almost to the end of my first one. Okay, and now you have your third page we did today. You'll notice there's a lot of pages in my book, okay? Something you can think about over the weekend is whether or not you want some writing space. If you are somebody that likes to write, okay, you might locate some writing paper, and we will put that in together this next week. You have a tuck spot here. So we did 4 tuck spots. This is your 3rd tuck spot, I believe. No, yes, 3rd tuck spot. Here is your 4th. That is a pocket tuck spot. And your pages just keep going. I tried to give you lots of opportunities to have lots of different pages. There is your 4th page that we completed together. And that is it. Okay. So that is where we're at today. This is the finish of your book for today. We're ending day 3 with the completed pages in the book, 4 pages completed, a cover, a spine, and the back cover. You have the inside cover started. We will finish this together on Tuesday, where we start working on your closure. And you have 4 completed pages done and 4 tuck spots. Notice how big it's already getting. This is why we measured it the way we did, because over time it's going to continue to grow. Okay? But this is what your book looks like at this point. Are you excited? It's kind of cool, huh? I love how the little torn edges look. Those are always my favorite part. So I hope you all are enjoying this. I hope this is something fun for you that you like. So let's go over what you will need on Tuesday and Wednesday. I keep trying to say Monday, but Tuesday is the new Monday, okay? So I have all my littles here. And once again, keep your littles. You're going to need them, okay? All of my little pile. All right. So come Tuesday, what will you need? Are you ready? Okay. You will need any metal pieces, buttons, and clips that you are planning to use. Okay. That is the first thing you will need. We will be working on more snippets. You will need your remaining full sheet printable pieces. Those are what we call our scrapbook pages. You will need these because we're going to be doing some lifts. We're going to do some interactive pockets as well as a portfolio. Okay. You will need your stickers, whether they are the kind that are printed already for you, or if they are the kind that you have printed that I made for you. It doesn't matter. You will need those. The next thing you will need is for Tuesday, you will need these items. Okay, so all of these need to be cut out for Tuesday morning. So you will need this one here with your, these are pockets, stamps, circles, stamps, and pockets. You will need those all cut out. You will need this page with the belly bands, or you can also call them pockets. We'll be using them for both, as well as your little ephemera. You will also need all of these cut out. Okay? Sit down, take some time, cut out all of your little bitty shapes. Try to keep them in piles of what they are. It will be easier in the long run. Okay? And then lastly, you will need the pictures. This is what you will need for Tuesday. This is your pile for Tuesday. Okay? So you have all of these, plus your book. This is your Tuesday pile. Okay? That is your Tuesday pile. You will need your glue. You will need your scissors. You will need lace. Okay? you will need these things. These are all things that you will need on Tuesday. And if you're smart, if you want to do your double-sided tape, it takes less time than your full-size tape. You will need some double-sided tape. Okay, that is Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, you will need the remaining packet of ephemera. This packet is enormous, okay? But you will need all of these for Wednesday. This is your hidden paper clip. Keep these items together as you cut them out. It will be easier. I'm going to put mine in Ziploc bags, okay? But cut these pieces out. Keep each page of items together. All of these will be needed for Wednesday. Now, in the event that Wednesday runs too long, we will take and we will finish on Thursday. So have these ready, though, come Wednesday morning. All right? So this is what you need for Tuesday. You'll need all of this plus Wednesday's packet on Wednesday. All right. Well, I hope you guys are having a blast. I hope you're enjoying building your junk journal. I think these are turning out absolutely adorable. I have a feeling you guys are going to love what you make. We will discuss how to tighten these if they are needed. Most of the time, I've never had one that I had to tighten. Starting off, they're always a little wobbly, but I've never had one that I've had to tighten. So if we have to go that route, I will show you. It's not hard. We will just adjust this, but we're not going to actually untie it. So there is a way to do it to make it tight. Okay. But we will worry about that come next week after we've gotten our book a little further. So I do hope you're having a blast. I hope you're having fun with this. I'm loving how it's turning out. I really love what we've made so far, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Pardon me. So again, Tuesday, you're going to make some flip outs. You're going to make a portfolio for inside of here. You're also going to be making a, we're going to do the binding, the closure, I mean, not the binding, but the closure of your book, as well as we will be putting more things into some more pages. So we will do that all at the same time. All right, well, I want to thank you all for joining me. It's almost 1 o'clock, so we're going to call it a day. And I hope you have a wonderful day and have a good time with your junk journals. Enjoy it, okay? So have fun. Get caught up over the weekend. You know, go back, watch the last few days, get everything caught up, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great day, guys. Get out there. Be blessed. See you soon.